Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Berdel Warrior here. We go higher mindset marketing. Hope you guys having a super awesome Wednesday. My topic today it is 4 steps in planting. And somebody said, "Well, Berdel, why are you always talking about planting?" Well, the reason why planting. Think about your mind. Think about a garden or a gardener. Okay, if you think about a gardener, okay, whatever we manifest in the mind will show up outside, right? So whatever you have up here will show up. Sometimes we think about maybe something negative, and then you're wondering why it's that particular item or something is happening negative, because that's what you are saying. That's what you have in your mind. So of course it has to come through, because your mind doesn't want you to think, oh boy, she's going crazy. So it manifests whatever. If you think about a gardener, if you look, let me show you down here. If you look at it down here, I mean, you got the soil, right? You got the soil. So half the time, most time, people will just dig, and then they probably would go ahead and do some fertilizer, right, in order to increase the soil, okay, to make it have a richer soil, right? So if you think about your mind as the soil. Think about your mind as the soil. Okay, so in order to get rich soil, you have to be able to put rich stuff in there, right? So that would be the books that you're reading, maybe the movies that you're watching, the people that you're talking to, right? Think about it, the people that you're talking to, because if you think about it, sometimes we are, what we are friends, the people that we hang out with, right? So if we hang out with a lot of negative people, you will end up attracting more of that, right? So then if you want to have more positive, then you hang out with the positive people. Just think about it. So think about your mind as the soil, okay? So you want to put rich soil in your mind, right? That's number one. Then number two, once you have the nutrients in the soil, then you're ready to plant the seed, right? So if you think about your seed, it's your thoughts. What are you thinking? Because if you think about it, whatever your thought, that will be what you are producing today. So the thought would be your seed. Then number three, then once you plant, right, you put it in the soil, then you put the seed in there. Then the next thing you will do will water, right? Water. I mean, that's very good thing, right? Water. Then you put the water. So what is the water? Your water is the action. What action steps are you taking? So if you think about it, today is December 29th, right? So whatever actions that we're doing today, all the way up until this January 31st, is we are setting up ourselves for a great new year's, right? So then we'll go into 2018, pumped up. I mean, we've done the work, right? We have our soil, our rich soil. We have the seed, our thought, and then now we have the water, right? Our action. So whatever action steps are you doing daily, okay, in order to make sure that you're doing the steps. Make sure you're doing the steps. I mean, you can't just, sometimes people say, we just go ahead and pray and then it will just happen, just fall out of the sky, right? Listen, that doesn't happen, right? So you got to put in the work. You have to put in the work. Whatever it is, you have to put in the work. I mean, yes, you can say, okay, I prayed about it, but yet you got to move, right? You got to put some action. You got to move. You got to make the phone calls. You got to do the necessary steps, right? Especially as an entrepreneur, as a mom. It would be nice, right? I remember a long time ago, I remember the movie, I don't remember if it was a genie movie or whatever, and then all she did was did her nose like this, and then things just happened and everything went into place. The house was clean and all that other stuff, right? That's the movie. That doesn't happen. So we don't want to be, we are not that type of person. So it's not like we can just, maybe, clap our hands, and the light comes off and on. That's great. But we can't clap our hands and the work gets done. That would be great, right? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? We just clap our hands or clip our fingers, and then everything happens. Everything just go in place. That would be so awesome. But God did not create the world like that, right? So you got to put the action. And yeah, I think the reason because the action is because it's a process, right? So while we're doing the action steps, we go into the process, and we're supposed to be having fun, enjoying the process. Enjoying the process, because within the process is where we learn. We go ahead, we tweak, we adjust. We might, be able to do some adjustment, to figure out how to do it the correct way, right? So there's some adjustment that takes place, right? So if you think about life, there's always a season. Okay, so this would be the right season right now to prepare yourself for 2018. Okay, so we talked about the soil, number one, the seed, we talk about the water, and then number four is the sunshine. Okay, so your sunshine is the feeling. So once you plant the seed, right, your mind, and you have the thought, the seed, then you got the water, the action. Once you do all that, now the sun, you need the sun. So the sun is your feeling. So how do you feel? Okay, so like I said, if you hang out with the wrong people, you will get the wrong vibe. So then you could talk about the feelings as maybe the weeds. Okay, you could have weeds coming into the garden. As a gardener, whatever you plant, there are always going to be weeds. It's an automatic. It just happens, right? Whether you want it or not, it just happens. So you got to take out the weeds. So the weed taken out for me would be adjusting, doing some adjustment with your mind. Maybe something you're thinking about is not right, right? So while you're thinking about something that you don't want, right? That makes sense. Stop thinking about what you don't want, right? And start thinking more of the things that you want. So then maybe you need to have that list, right? Get your notebook and start writing the list. What is it that you want in your life now? What is it that you want to happen in your life in 2018? What plans do you have for your family? What plans do you have for yourself? What type of spiritual plans do you have for your life? Think about it that way. Think about it that way. So when we think about the 4 steps in planting, I'm referring to your mind. What are you planting in your mind? Okay? And remember, whatever you're planting in your mind has to come true. So if I'm thinking negative, sometime I was listening to a person, and then she was talking about, I believe it was last night, she was talking about, sometimes we as believers, I don't know, other people say it as well, we as believers, we always said, what was it? I love her to death. Think about that. I love her to death. Listen, that is not what we want to say. Just say, I love her, and leave it at that. You don't want to love someone to death. That's a negative. It's very negative, right? And then here's another one we always say. That person makes me sick, right? That's another one. That person makes me sick. So when we say words like that person makes me sick, what do you think is going to happen? You spoke that out of your mouth, right? What do you think is going to happen to you? Eventually, you are going to get sick. Remember, whatever you give, whether it comes out of your mouth or your thought, you're going to get it back. You're going to get it. So be careful of what you are saying. Be careful what you're speaking out loud, right? Because you're either speaking life or you're speaking death. Think about it, life or death, okay? So if you want more positive, you got to put more life into your life. And not that speaking positive, for instance, you want to be one of those people that talks about, I'm a forgiving person, right? You want to be give kindness. You want to be a generous person. You want to be very understanding, loving, right? And like I said, giving. If you give more, whatever you give comes back to you. Whatever you give, come back to you. So just give, be more kind. Be more kind today, If you got to go ahead and take somebody out to lunch, just do that. Then if you have to go ahead and help somebody, open the door, whatever. Be kind to someone today. It's all about you. Whatever you give, you're going to get back. And here it is. If all of us, if one person would do something kind to someone, don't you think that somebody else might do something kind to the other person? And if we continue doing that day in and day out, wouldn't you think the world would be a better place? I think so. I think so. So those are the 4 steps. So if you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, we want to be, say words like, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am very rich. That's a very rich word, because remember I talk about the soil. We want rich soil. So why can't I say I am very rich, right? I am very victorious, right? Okay. Here's another one. Somebody we were talking about, I think was a lady I was thinking about today or watching last night. And she was saying, a lot of people say, I am believing God. Why are we believing God when He already said what He said? Okay, we don't need to believe in God. We just need to believe God. Does that make sense? Take out the ing out of there. Take out the ing. And then sometimes we say, I am trusting God. Why are we trusting God and He already gave us His word? No, take out the ing. I trust God. Isn't that cool? I think that's awesome. Think about that. I trust God. Okay, I am trusting God. Isn't that awesome? I am trusting God. I mean, if you think about it, here it is. I mean, I'm up in the mountains. I mean, look at these old big old rocks. Look at all these rocks. I mean, I didn't do anything. These just here. Look at this. Look at this. So if you could think about the God that created all this, don't you think He's more than able to give you everything beyond what you have asked, what you have dreamed about? Don't you think about that? Don't you think so? I believe He has. But here it is. We just got to step and walk as though we already have whatever He told us that He has given us, right? We just have to walk. Keep on walking and knowing that He has already said and it's already ours. That's all we have to do. Can you imagine that? Isn't that awesome? And I believe it is so simple, and that's why I believe we missed the mark, because it is so simple. And we as human beings, we want to complicate life, right? Complicate life. So, ladies and gentlemen, life is so sweet, So why don't we remember that saying long time ago, WWJD, what would Jesus do? Okay, what would Jesus do? Okay, so why don't we just go ahead and trust Him? Continue trusting Him. Trusting Him. And so let me leave you with this Deuteronomy 28:8. And it says, I'm just going to paraphrase it here. The Lord will command blessings upon you, on your job, in your home, or whatever your hands find to do. Okay, you got to do the work, right? Whatever your hands find to do, may He bless you. Okay, may God continue to bless you. Okay, because this is what He said. That's what He said He's going to do for you. So all we have to do, ladies and gentlemen, is continue believe that He has already done it, and then just walk. Keep on walking, because it's already done. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Berdel Warrior with Go Higher Mindset Marketing. And you can also find me on Go Higher Warriors. And then if this was valuable to you, ladies and gentlemen, can you please go ahead and like, comment, and share? I do believe someone needs to hear this message today. Okay? So with that, ladies and gentlemen, hope to see you tomorrow. Have a super awesome afternoon. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.